Hello everybody, January 9th, 2023. Going to take a look at Bitcoin. And on Friday, I said that it's quite likely we were in the final stage of that C wave before we see Bitcoin make its move down to 12 to 14. It's possible that we'd already seen it. Obviously, we saw a little bit higher today, closer to the 17.3 level. I think it hit 17.4 today. But basically, the probability of seeing that large decline happening soon was growing greater every day. Nothing has changed for me. This is still a primary scenario. If we get above 18,150, then the primary scenario becomes going to 19 to 20 first, but then heading down to 12 to 14. I don't see any evidence at this point in time that 12 to 14K is going to come off the table. So let's just dive into the action here that we've seen. As I said, I was looking for potentially an ABC up, right? So when I made the video on Friday, we were right around this top here. I said we might have hit the top there. But I also said it's quite possible that turns into an ABC up instead. And that basically is the structure that we are looking at here now. Right here obviously went a little bit higher than like a typical C wave, but not by very much. And this larger red box here is the larger second wave danger zone anyway. So we really have not broken any structure at this point saying that the bulls are going to move significantly higher. If you remember back around this like November, December time, I was looking at this as possibly being a 5-wave move in a diagonal up off the low. And if we had seen a 3-wave move down into this, I could have potentially looked at a bullish scenario, which is this blue one here, where it starts heading up much higher. But as I said, even if that was correct, without this 3-wave down, the next move up should have been an impulsive move. Like this should have already given us a really nice impulsive move up if that blue scenario was correct. And obviously we've not seen that. We've seen a very, very choppy move, which shows a lack of conviction from the bulls and really puts that blue bullish alternative in extreme doubt. I mean, there's like a 1/10 of 1% chance of that happening. I don't think that's going to happen, which is why I said, the possibility of this going up in a larger corrective pattern would now be sort of my secondary scenario if we broke 18,150. But as long as we're below 18,150, I'm willing to assume that we've already begun the next wave down, meaning this was a 5-wave move down, there's one, and now we've got ABC for a 2. And we'll head down from here. So that's primary below 18,150. But again, kind of no matter what, I am expecting a move down to 12 to 14. So I'm quite happy to remain in cash and just kind of scalp these moves as I can. All right, so all that being said, let's just take a look here. You know what, I'm going to get rid of this fib now just to clean it up. I was there for reference before. So obviously, we're on the hourly chart here. PPO has come down and is in the lime green area there, but RSI still has room to drop. So I don't necessarily think we're going to see a move up from here. And if we go to the 4-hour, I believe we're still quite overbought. Yeah. You can see on this 4-hour chart just how high that RSI is. It usually does not spend too much time in that region before coming back down. And whether that next move down is the beginning of the next large move down to 12 to 14 remains to be seen. Of course, it could just continue chopping, but one way or another, I think we've reached some sort of top here. It may be a temporary top, but we've reached some sort of top in all likelihood. That PPO is still extremely overbought. RSI is still extremely overbought. And usually once we see RSI come into this kind of red area here up into the 75 plus area, 70 plus area, once it comes back down, like right here it came back down below, it usually doesn't stop until it hits that lower line. So we've come back down below after hitting the red area, so usually we would see it come back down. So definitely would not be looking to long this in the near future. You know, maybe if this comes down significantly and we really haven't dropped that far, then maybe I can consider trying to scalp some longs, but otherwise I'll look for that RSI to drop along with a quite aggressive move down as my main scenario. So obviously we'll just have to wait and see if that occurs or not. And finally, let's jump down onto the 5-minute chart here and just see. I don't think we have any clean structure yet. It's hard a lot of the time to make out a clean structure. Possibly we've got 5 waves down, maybe. I'm not married to that, but it is a possibility. This could be A, B, and we're working on C. So if we just see sort of like a 17,250-ish area overnight, followed by a breakdown of these lows, that's going to start looking a lot more like a 1 and 2. And then from there, what we'll need to do, assuming it does drop more, is draw a fib extension, from whatever high we get up here, and we'll just see then what targets we hit. If we get a full 5 waves down that follows the normal fib, down to this area here, down to about the 17640 2.0 extension. Sorry, that would be 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what it should look like. If we can get down into that area in 5 waves, then that pretty much clarifies for us that yes, in fact, we are in the next move down. And from there, the very safest short zone would, of course, be that 3-wave bounce afterwards. That short zone would likely come in the 17K area again, but we're kind of putting the cart before the horse. We just have to wait for the action to play out further. But that's what I'll be looking for, and the confirmation that I'd want to see that the top is actually in. For now, we just have to wait for more action to develop, and we'll go from there. So everybody, make sure you stay safe in this trading environment. It's extremely volatile. We saw lots of giant moves on alts recently, which isn't necessarily a good thing. A lot of times we see that in a bear market, right before a big dump. So not saying that's a guarantee, of course, but a lot of volatility out there. So stay safe in these positions. If you have any longs, I would highly consider taking some profit on them. It's not profit until you actually close the position, so make sure you're thinking about that. And I will touch base with you all on Friday. We'll see what the rest of the week brings. All right, good night.